Hey guys, welcome to your first Math with Max this school year. So let me introduce you to Max. Well, it's actually Math with Max and Rocky, except I don't want to wake up Rocky because he's already asleep. But here's Max. Hello. Hey, Bush. You say hello? He was trying to sleep too, so I probably woke him up right now, but hi. Okay, go back to sleep. Go back to sleep? Or no? Rocky, come here. Rocky, you want to say hi? Yes or no? Yes, you want to say hi too? Come here. Come here. Oh, there's Rocky. Say hello, boys. Maybe no? Okay, they're just going to sit behind me instead. All right, so the first thing you need to get out is your math journal. Mine looks like this. Go over there. Go over there. Go over there. Yeah. It's tough. We're learning. We're learning some math now. Okay. Okay, go over there. Okay, go over there. All right, so in your table of contents, first of all, you need to make sure your table of contents matches mine. So right here, you should be writing this down. Number 11, model, whole number times a decimal. So go ahead and take a minute to write that down. If you need to pause the video, that's okay too. So just go ahead and write that down. And then you want to turn to a clean page. And just guys, remember, at any time you can pause it, and literally at any moment, and pause it so that because you need more time, and that's okay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and turn to page 11 because we're on number 11, and that's always a fresh new page in our journal. There should be nothing here right now, so I'm starting over here. So go ahead and take a minute to write that down. Model, whole number times a decimal. And then right now in a minute, we're going to write down the rule. Okay, but again, you can pause it as you need it. Guys, go over there. Go over there. Go.
Hey, get over there.
Go over there.
Get over here.
Go, Maximus. Go. It's their time to play, that's why. All right, so the rule that we're going to write is, again, I'm right here, sorry. Right here where it says rule, I'm going to write solve first, comma, and I'm going to show this to you. Then, and then is going to be in capitals. Then move the decimal. Okay? That's the rule. Solve first, comma, then move the decimal. And right now, I'll explain what I mean by that after we start working, okay? So, we're going to write example underneath that, or examples. Uh-oh, we're out of focus. There we go. Right there, just like that. It should say examples, just like that. And then we're going to write down 36 hundredths. So 0 and 36 hundredths, that decimal is key, times 4. And we need to figure out what does that equal. Okay, so we should have that written down. Your journal should match mine. See how much space we have towards the bottom. It should be exactly like mine right now. So 0 and 36 hundredths times 4 equals something, okay? The next thing you need to make sure you have is 4 of these 100 blocks right here. If you go to the desk or wherever you're getting them from, they're gonna come on a page that's connected like this, so you just need 4 of them. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut mine out. Again, if you need to pause the video to do that, go ahead and do so. But again, I'm cutting out 4 of them. So again, you can pause it, go get some scissors. You're gonna need scissors. You're gonna need a glue stick, and then you're gonna need colors. Now I'm using crayons, but if you have color pencils, you're gonna need at least at least 5 different colors today. So go ahead and go and grab that as well. I'm gonna continue cutting my 100 blocks out. Okay, still cutting. So this is my second one right now. I'm working on my third one. This is boring, right? Watching me cut, it's kind of boring. Sorry, I probably should have had these pre-cut. Oh well, I didn't think about it, so. Okay, so I have my 4 cut. I have 400 blocks. We're going to use all 4, not at the same time, but we will use them all. Okay, so right underneath the equation that we just wrote down here, we're going to take 2 of these 100 blocks and we're going to glue them down. If you're using a liquid glue, I would say just use a little bit, spread it out really nice and thin. If it gets too soggy, the paper gets too soggy, we're gonna have a lot of problems when it comes to actually working these out, okay? Again, I'm gonna put these directly into that equation, so if you wanna wait to see how I did it, you can wait a second. So let me just get these down. Oh, I got a brand new glue stick. My husband brought it to me. So I'm gonna glue those right underneath the equation. I'm not gonna leave a lot of space in between them, but what I do wanna make sure is that when I glue them down, sorry, let me get these glued down first, so you can see what I mean. When I do glue these down, I'm gonna put, I wanna make sure they're more towards the side over here because I'm gonna use this space to write, to do a standard algorithm right here. And I'll explain what I mean by standard algorithm in just a second. But again, glue them down just like that, right underneath the equation. Okay. So when we talk about multiplication, we talk about how multiplication is just repeated addition, meaning that like if you're doing your 9s and you get stuck at, you already know 9 and then 18 and 27, but then you get stuck at 9 times 4, well, go to 27, 9, 18, 27, and then add 9 more, right? It's the same thing. We're multiplying, but multiplication is just repeated addition. So we want to make sure that we follow that. So it's the same thing, except now we're doing a decimal and a whole number. So just slightly different, but basically the same concept, right? Okay, so right now we're gonna need our colors. So again, I told you need 5 of them. At this moment, we're only gonna need 4. And the reason we're only gonna need 4 is because my whole number here is a 4. So what's gonna happen is multiplying a whole number times a decimal is we're gonna color in 3600ths 4 different times. And each time we color in 3600ths, we're gonna use a different color, okay? So I'm gonna take any one of my colors, I don't know, I think I'm gonna start with blue. And I'm gonna shade in 3600 starting over here. So if you wanna wait till I finish coloring so that you can see what that looks like, then you can wait. So I'm doing 10, 20, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. And again, I'm using crayons because that's all I had. But if you have color pencils that you prefer, no pens please, because just no. And you're wasting your pens on coloring when you have some other stuff for that. So again, I'm just shading in 3600ths 1 time so far. Okay, so your journal should look like this so far, whichever color you chose, and that is 3600ths. I don't know if you can see that because every row here is worth 10. That's 10, 20, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. So I did 3600ths 1 time, but I want to do 3600ths 4 times total. So starting right here where my color stops at, I'm going to pick up with my second color. And again, I'm going to count out 36. I need to be extra careful now because it's not going to be as simple. So now, again, like I said, we're going to start right here. I'm going to count out 1, 2, 3, 4, 10 more because I know that whole row is going to be 10 right here. So 4 and 10 is 14, plus 10 more would give me 24, and then 24, and I'm going to start up here, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, and 36. So again, I have to be extra careful when I'm counting here. You want wherever you stopped, you're going to continue coloring from there. Okay, so again, if it helps, I'm going to count them out 1, 2, 3, 4 like that. I put a little dash in them as I'm counting them so that I don't make a mistake. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. And if it's not clear to you right now, you should be doing what I am doing in my journal right now. So again, if it's if you're just sitting there, you know you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, obviously. If you're just sitting here watching me do this, and we come back on, I come on Friday and you don't have this done, watch out. Okay, so right now I'm coloring in 36 of them with my second color. You should be using a different color. So right now this is how mine looks. Okay, so again, even though they don't look the same, this is still 36 and this is still 36. Now I've done 36 how many times? Once and twice, but I need it to be how many times? If you said 4, you're right. So again, I need to do that 2 more times. So I'm going to pick 2 different colors. And I'm trying to pick colors that contrast each other a lot. So that they're very different, okay? So that you can see them easily. So again, I'm going to start counting from where I stopped at. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. Now, when I stopped on this one, my first 100 block, it stopped at 28. I'm going to keep on going at the top of this one as well. So that was 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. So my rest of my green is going to be starting over here, and that's okay. That's what we want to happen, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and color in that part right now. Coloring mine in green. If you chose a different color, that's okay. Yours doesn't have to be perfectly matched to mine. I lit a new candle today and it smells so good. Okay. So, right now, that's what mine looks like. And again, it's okay if it goes on to the second one. Now, how many colors do I have? 1, 2, 3. But I should have how many colors? We said 4. So I'm going to go back and do this one more time. And I think I'm going to go with purple this time because I like purple. And again, I'm starting where I stopped at. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. Okay. Oh, mine's starting to shim. My glue didn't stick. That's okay. Oh, and look at my crayon. How did that happen? I don't even know. Okay, so again, I'm shading in my last 3600s. I should have 3600s 4 times, like we said. Okay. Coloring that in. Trying to hold my 100 block down because the glue doesn't want to hold for some reason. I don't think this glue was very good, but don't tell my husband because he borrowed it from one of his students. So I don't have good glue, I guess. So I'm going to put glue on mine again because it's starting to fall off. But right now I'll show you in just a second what it should look like. Okay. Alright, so right now that's how mine looks. I shaded in 3600s 4 different times, okay? So what happened here was when I shaded in the 3600s on this block, the whole block got covered, right? So that's telling me that if that whole block is shaded, then it should be equal to 1 hole. So underneath that, I'm going to write 1 hole. Okay, because again, the entire block got shaded, so it is equal to 1 hole. Then right in between here, I'm going to put a decimal because whatever's left over is no longer a hole. It's after the decimal, so it's a tenth, it's 100, and so on and so on. Okay, so I have to see what is left over. So to figure that out, I'm going to count all of these blocks, even the green and the purple, whatever's left over on this particular block. I'm going to count it together and see how much is left. And I can count my rows by tens because I know that every row is equal to 10. So I know I have 10, 20, 30, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44. So again, that is 10, 20, 30, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44. And that 44 is off of 100 blocks. So that's 44 out of 100, which means that I have 1 hole and 44 hundredths. So I'm going to write that down. So just like that. 1 whole and 44 hundredths. Okay? That's what this model represents. So this is a model for multiplying a whole number times a decimal times a whole number. Or you can say a whole number times a decimal, same thing. So that's what a model like that would look like. So you need to pay extra close attention to this because you're actually going to be doing this on Friday. So pay attention. If you're not understanding what I just did, you need to go back and watch it again. That's okay. So over here, we're going to write a standard algorithm. And I'll show you what that means by that. We talked about standard algorithm the other day. So I don't remember, I talked about it with all of my classes. But standard algorithm means the normal way that you would solve something. Sometimes you use different methods for solving it. But in this case, for solving different kinds of problems, the standard algorithm for multiplication is the one that I showed you just yesterday, where you put the 3 numbers on top and then the 2 numbers on the bottom. You solve it normally like you normally would. So that's what I mean by standard algorithm. So right here, we're going to write standard algorithm. Okay. And we're going to set up this equation over here. So that's where the rule is going to come into play. We're going to solve first, then move the decimal. So what I want to write down first is 36 hundredths times 4. So let me write that down. So we have 0 and 36 hundredths times 4. So just like that. It should look like that right now. Okay? Can you see that? It's a little blurry right now for some reason. 36 hundredths times 4. Okay? That is our standard algorithm. When we're multiplying a whole number in a decimal, we're not concerned about which one is greater on top. We're concerned about which one has more digits. So 0, 3, 6, that's 3 digits, and then 4, right? So that's 3 digits compared to 1 digit. So we want to put the 3-digit number on top, not necessarily the greater number on top. So again, 0, 3, 6 goes on top because we only have the 4 on the other side. So we're going to solve that the way you normally would solve something like this. So we know that we're going to multiply the 4 times the 6 first. So we know that 4 times 6 is 24, right? 6, 12, 18, 24, yeah. I'm going to put down my 4, and I'm going to carry my 2. Okay, so far we have this. Now moving on to the 4 times the 3, which we know is 12, plus 2 more gives us 14. And again, I'm going to carry over or regroup that one, as some of y'all like to say. And then be extra careful, because I talked about this in my class before. What's the main mistake that people make when they see 4 times 0? They automatically assume the answer is 4. They forget that anything times 0 is actually just 0. So what do we really have here? 4 times 0 is 0, plus 1 is actually 1. Okay? So right now my answer looks like this, 144. But that's not the final answer. Looking back at the rule, it says solve first, then move the decimal. So what we just did was solving it first. We're not worried about the decimal right now, or we will be in just a second. But for right now, all you want to do is solve it, okay? You always solve first when you're multiplying. The dropping down the decimal, or remember I said like dropping it like it's hot, remember I said drop down the decimal, that only applies to adding and subtracting. Okay, you do not, I repeat, you do not drop the decimal when you are multiplying. Okay, I cannot emphasize that enough. You do not drop down the decimal when you are multiplying. Instead, we're going to do what we call make waves. So I'm going to take, I have a different colored pen here. If you want to use a pen, that's fine. Go ahead and get it out. I don't care. So what we're going to do is we're going to make waves from the back of this 36 until I reach the decimal here, and I'll show you what I mean by that right now. So starting in the back of my 36, I'm going to make 2 waves because it takes 2 waves to get to that decimal. So that's what I mean. So starting back here, I'm going to make 1 wave and then 2 waves. So it took 2 waves to get from here to my decimal. So again, 1 and then 2. So that's what I'm going to do in my answer. Over here, I'm going to start in the back of my number. I'm going to go 1, 2. And you might be thinking to yourself, well, miss, that means we just dropped down the decimal. You're right. In this case, we would, but it doesn't work every single time. So again, when we are multiplying decimals, we are going to make waves. 1, 2, and then back here, 1, 2. So I'm going to do the same thing here. 1, 2. And wherever I stopped at the 2, I'm going to make a big old fat decimal. so I don't forget that that's where it should go. So I went 1, 2, and then back here, 1 and 2. Okay? So that's what your standard algorithm should look like. And as you notice, down here, we wrote that our answer was 1 whole and 44 hundredths. Well, guess what? 1 whole and 44 hundredths. Same thing. Okay? Makes sense, right? Pretty simple, not hard. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and do another one. So I'm gonna write down, I'm gonna skip a line, and then I'm gonna write 25 hundredths times 5. So 0 and 25 hundredths times 5. Okay, so right now we should have that, just like that. And then I'm gonna take those last two 100 blocks that I have, and I'm gonna do the same thing where I glue them down right underneath the equation, the same way I glued them down up here. So I'll make sure I have a little space in between. So go ahead and take a second to do that. Oh, I forgot my cap. I always forget my cap. Okay, so that's what I'm gonna do. Make sure you put enough glue, because that was my mistake that last time. I didn't put enough glue on my paper. And then also, I would, okay, here it is. I thought I lost it. I'm like you guys in class, you're like, I can't find my stuff, miss. I found it. Okay, so right here, I'm gluing down my second one. Okay, and then if you want to, oh gosh, I do not like this glue stick. If you want to, just like we wrote standard algorithm over here, you can write standard algorithm right there as well. Okay. Okay. So just like that. We're going to do the same thing that we did here, but we're going to do another one just to reinforce the whole thing. So here we did 36 hundredths 4 times. Down here, we're going to do 25 hundredths 5 times. So that's why we need 5 different colors. So go ahead and pick your first color and shade in 25 of them. I haven't used red yet, so I think I'm going to start with red, I think. Or brown. New. I don't like, I'm not a fan of brown, so I'm probably not going to use it. But you know what? I'm going to start with green. Whatever, Anna, right? Whatever Miss Ball does. So again, I'm going to start with green. And I'm going to start on this side as well. So I'm going to count to 25. I know that every row is equal to 10. So I go to 10, 20, and then 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Okay. Just in case nobody understands what I mean by that. That line means that's equal to 10, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. I'm going to go ahead and color those in. Just like that. Okay, so that's my first 25 hundredths right there. Again, I'm going to continue on. I'm going to go ahead and do all the rest of them too. I'm going to go ahead and move in with my purple. I'm going to count 25 to be exact. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 15, 25. And I'm going to shade that in purple. Okay, so go ahead and do all that. Making sure my time, because I can't go over a certain amount of time, otherwise my phone will say, you can't record anymore. Okay, so I've shaded in my second 25. I'm going to go ahead and continue on with my third 25, 10, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Can you hear Max crying? Why are you crying, Max? It's because my husband's outside talking to the neighbor, and Max wants to be a part of all the action. So anytime you don't include him, he gets all whiny. Not Rocky, but Max. Rocky's super quiet. Rocky's super chill. Okay. So far, this is what I have. I have 25 hundredths 3 times. I need to do that 2 more times. I think I'm going to go in with yellow, because it's going to be squeezed between 2 numbers anyway, so it'll be all right. Not a big fan of using yellow because I feel like it's too bright. It hurts your eyes when you look at it, personally. That's how I feel about it. And sometimes it can be hard to see, especially if you're trying to write with yellow, like a sentence with yellow. Like, that's not helpful, right? That's too hard. It's almost like you're just looking at the paper sometimes. Okay. So I just need one more. I think I'm just going to go ahead and go in with red here. And again, it's okay to move on to the second one. That's what it's there for. If I'm going too fast, you need to pause the video so you can play catch up. But don't pause it for so long that you're talking to your friends or you're doing something you're not supposed to be doing. Okay? So, that's what I have here. So this is what you should have. If it's not exactly, it should be very similar. So again, just like this one, we shaded in the whole thing. So that tells me that right here, I need to be writing one whole. So I'm going to get my pen. I'm going to write one whole. Okay. Just like that. And then I know that right here, I need to put in my decimal because it's separating it. And then I'm simply going to count how many I have left. But I know for sure that's already going to be 25 because all the red is on this one already. So it's going to be one whole and 25 hundredths. Why 25 hundredths? Because it's 25 on a hundredth block, right? So one whole and 25 hundredths. Okay. And then we're going to do the same thing where we work it out the standard algorithm, except now we're going to work it up down here, okay? So we're going to take that 25 hundredths and multiply it times 5. Okay. So we're going to start with the 5 times the 5. You should know your 5s, right? I feel like my camera is focused. There we go. So we're going to do 5 times 5. We know that's 25. Put down the 5, carry the 2. You guys already know that. Okay. Here we want to do 5 times 2 plus the 2. So we know that 5 times 2 is 10, plus 2 more is 12. Again, I want to carry over that 1 or regroup it, as you guys like to say. And I want to say 5 times 0. We already know anything times 0 equals 0. So 5 times 0 should be 0, plus 1 more is 1. Am I worried about the decimal right now? Not quite. I want to make sure I make my waves like I told you before. Remember, when we are multiplying, we do not drop down the decimal, only when we are adding or subtracting. So I'm going to take my other color if you want. I'm going to count my waves. I have 2. 1, 2. And then I'm going to do the same thing down here. 1, 2. So my answer should match what I wrote underneath this guy. Okay, guys, that's it for notes. Well, I take that. Well, you should have another sheet that's like a square and it has like several problems on it. You're going to glue that to the back of this page right here, and you're going to solve those on your paper. There should be a white sheet of paper. The first one should be X'd out because you're not supposed to do that one. Then you're going to go and you're going to get this handout. It has 5 questions on the front, and then, oh no, 4 questions. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4 on this side, and then 5 on this side. I've given you space over here. Sorry, I can't even pay attention. Space on this side to work it out. If there's no work, there is no credit. Do not pick an answer and just hope that the teacher's going to give you credit for it. So again, no work, no, did I say no work, no answer? No work, no credit. That's what I meant to say, okay? These things need to get done in class today. If you don't get it done in class, you need to take it home for homework. Am I making myself clear? Hopefully, yes. It's already turning into a 30-minute video, so I got to get going, guys. So hopefully your notes match mine. Hopefully you understand. If you don't, go back, watch it again. But as long as all these things get done, okay? So be good. You better be behaving for the substitute. It is Miss Rodriguez's father, so if you're disrespectful in any sort of way, she is most definitely going to find out about it. So I just highly suggest that you do what you're supposed to do, okay? So from me, from Max, and from Rocky, we hope